Welcome everyone to today's research tips and tricks, scientific failures, how they help us to grow. Apology from me because I had some technical hitches before coming on board here. So that is why we had to start late. Apologies for that. And I hope we can finish this before time. All right. So welcome everyone. My name is Nwaru, and I am presenting this to you this afternoon. I have my colleague also online, Eman. Eman, can you speak?
Hello everyone. Thanks for attending today, and it will be an interesting feature. I am Iman Sobh, Associate Professor of Chess Diseases at Al Azhar University. Welcome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Eman, and all those who have joined. The last session we had was on science and ignorance, how they are connected. As usual, I will break you into groups and give you 10 minutes. 10 minutes I will give you to look at the questions in front of you. So each group, look at the question. Please take a picture of these questions, discuss it quickly, and I will bring you back and appoint one person who will share your thoughts in 1 minute. 1 minute you will use to share your thoughts, and 10 minutes will give you to discuss these issues, and we'll bring you back. All right, so I will divide you into 3 breakout rooms, and you are going to look at these issues. So whichever group you appear, it is assigned automatically. So please join your group as it appears in front of you. Don't forget to take the picture of what is on your screen. All right, welcome back everyone. Group number 1, let's see what you have. Who is presenting for you? Group number 1 in 1 minute. Group number 1, just raise your hand and then I will recognize you. Group number 1, do you have somebody for you? Group number 1 didn't. All right, Rafiat. Okay, Rafiat,
Yes.
please go ahead.
Yes, please. We all agreed that failure is important. It gives birth to success. Without failure, you cannot necessarily have success, because even young children learn to walk properly even as they fall. Thank you.
Thanks very much. That's good one. All right, group number 2, who is presenting for you? Group number 2, who is there? Nobody for group number 2? Okay, let's go to group number 3. Who is if you are group number 2, raise your hand down. Let me see. Group number 2. If you're group number 2, you just raise your hand, bring it down. Bukenya, are you group number 2 or group number 3? Zainab Popola, are you group number?
I'm group number 3. Bukenya.
All right. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Group number 3 has been very active. Our question was, in the scientific journey, what is the alternative to failure? And we decided to say, what kind of failure are we talking about in the scientific journey? The scientific journey, the failure could be paper rejection, failure in an exam, or when one's paper at a conference is not reading very right. Now, we said now, what is the alternative to that kind of failure? 1, not to give up. 2, to try again, and to try again by searching for alternative approaches that could lead one out of the ditch. And then the third one, the third and last, is never to get afraid, to be afraid of failure, but to utilize failure as a springboard to success. That's all. Thank you.
All right, great. Never to be afraid of failure as an alternative to failure. Great. Okay, Zainab, can you tell us what you have quickly? Raise your hand again. Let me unmute you. All right, so now speak.
Sorry, I was for group 3, and Father
Group
Bukenya
3
has already presented on our behalf.
All right,
Thank you.
so no one
Yes.
actually for group number 2. Group number 2, are you exemplifying our topic this afternoon? Did you fail? Group number 2. Okay, let's take it that we'll use you as example of failure this afternoon. All right. Group number 1 passed. Group number 3 passed. Group number 2 failed. Okay. Let's see what we have. I think what group number 2 and all 1 and 3 have presented has also really covered everything I needed to say. In fact, we can just close now and say happy weekend. But anyway, I have to talk. So let me talk and tell you what I have. Failure. And this is an important topic. It's important, even though we have used even children who are growing as examples. But for scientists who are mature, regardless of your stage, failure is not something that we easily accept. Believe you me. Even when we think, well, it's good. I have to fail and learn, but it's not something we easily accept. That is one. The second thing is that it is not every failure that is good. And what I mean is that it's not every failure that needs to happen. Okay? It's not every failure that needs to happen. I will come to that because some failures are as a result of outright carelessness. And then such carelessness sometimes has become a culture. It's something that is in the blood. Okay? It's something that, oh goodness me, is difficult to throw away. And so the failure that happens is no longer a failure you learn from. It's a failure that frustrates. Because what is causing that failure is part and parcel of you. I was trying to find some common definitions, and I came across these 4 definitions provided by Britannica Dictionary. And the first one, it says, is lack of success. 2 is a situation or occurrence in which something is not working as it should. All right. I think every one of us must have come across at least those two. The third one is that is occurrence in which someone does not do something that should be done. All right. You're doing something different. You're asked to go to the right and you are going to the left. And finally, occurrence in which crops do not grow and produce food in the normal way. You see, some of these things here are natural. Okay, they occur within the sphere of human existence. As scientists, we face them. Okay. The key message this afternoon will be that failure is not unnatural. Failure is a state of not meeting a desirable or intended objective and may be viewed as the opposite of success. I like that when it says it may be viewed. It may be viewed as the opposite. All right. Just let's take a quick poll. How many of you likes the first definition I have in front here of Britannica Dictionary, lack of success as a definition of failure? Just raise your hand. Raise your hand. Let me count. How many of you believe failure is lack of success? Just raise your hand. Take the raise hand button. Click the raise hand button. It's lack of success. Lack of success. Lack of success. Yeah. Yeah. You have 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I have 7 hands. All right. All right. Just bring your hand down. Just bring your hand down. How many of you see failure as a sibling of success? A sibling of success. A sibling of success. So count 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
20.
2, 20. Wow.
Yeah.
That's encouraging. That's encouraging to see. All right. Let me go back to my slides. Perhaps we'll come back at the end of the presentation and see whether some people have changed their mind. All right. So I was mentioning that not all failures are the same. There are spectrums of reasons for failure. There are spectrums. There are those who are to the extreme, as I mentioned. They are deviant individuals who choose to violate prescribed process. You choose outrightly to violate it. And when you violate it, there's nothing more you will get than to keep getting the same results. Inattention, carelessness, process inadequacy, lack of ability. Okay? You see, these ones are not the ones we are focusing on. In fact, what we're focusing on are those that come natural. Those that come natural. I'm not saying that you don't learn from these ones. In the scientific process, okay, engaging in any of these would not give us a good image. It's not something we encourage. We discourage this kind of behaviors that lead to failure, because all we have been, preaching on this platform is excellence in what we do. All right. Rather, our failure should be from the positive side. Understanding that things don't always go the way we thought they would go, even when we do them in the right way. All right? And that comes as a result of uncertainty. We don't know many things. Last edition, we talked about ignorance. Ignorance as part, in fact, as a product of our scientific expeditions. That we have our input into the mechanisms that produce our results. And we have this black box of so many things going on there. And what we get, many people are looking up to get answers. But eventually, we get more questions than answers. We get more unknowns than knowns. And that is the beauty of science. When the product of our endeavor is that we remain ignorant because there are more questions to answer. So those uncertainties, even the things we think that are clear in our mind, those uncertainties bring the failure that spur us into asking, what really happened? Why was my paper rejected? Because I did everything right. Why didn't I get this grant? Why did I establish this collaboration? Not because you're careless, because there are so much uncertainties around those questions. And so the ability to put everything together and learn from them is a special ability every scientist needs to have, because the failures that come from these activities are right failures. They have a way of putting you together and making you the right person you need to be. The other thing I want to show you here is trajectory from failure to success. The poll we just had now, those who define failure as lack of success, 7, and then those who think that failure is a twin of success are about 20. A majority of you think that failure is part and parcel of success. Look at these two diagrams. This is what most people think. There is a straight line, and you go to a point, some people divert to the left and they fail. Some people divert to the right and they pass. This is how we think about it. And you see, and that is why many people admire people. Oh, Bill Gates. I wish I am that kind. Aliko Dangote, or Mark Zuckerberg, or this and that. I wish I would be that guy. Sometimes we wish I would be that guy, because we define their trajectory of life to be going that way. And eventually you get to a point where you divert to the right and your life just blossom, while some land in the other path and are failures. No, this is not a reality. Even in your scientific career, you have tried, and some people end up saying, well, I don't think this is for me. Well, I'm not saying that everything is, you need to do everything. Okay? But it is possible that your perception of your scientific journey is like this. But here it says this is what successful people know. It's not just what they think, this is what they know. That before they come to have their success in their hand, they have suffered failures. Before that paper is published in New England Journal of Medicine, it's published in Lancet, it's published in that top journal, some people will think, oh, you were born well. Yours is good, though. How I wish I was born in your family. How I wish I go to your university. How I wish I go to your school. How I wish I am like you. But you know what they have covered? What you don't know about them. The only thing you're seeing is this one. But you don't know the night of cries, the night of failures. In fact, I remember after my PhD, and I was making a presentation, one of my papers, which I did during my PhD. And somebody was asking me, so do you mean that what you are saying during your presentation happened, that this paper took you the 12th journal before it was published? I said, yes, I submitted to 12 journals. And this person said, no. In fact, if I've tried 2 times, I will not try again. I said, then that is a problem. Okay, that is a problem. I tried the first one. It went to review. It came back. It was rejected. But because I don't accept that it will not be published, I don't accept it. I took it. I took the comment. I improved it. And I submitted the next. The next didn't even go for review. It got it. I kept on until the 12th one, it was accepted. And then I tell you, if you look at that paper, the first one it was submitted to, the first version, and the last one, it's 2 words altogether. 2 words. And then when it's published, you say, oh, hooray. But if you are told the story of that paper, just hearing the story of that paper, of the ingredients that have formed the pathway of that paper, some people will, even without starting the journey, will say they are not going anymore. The problem is seeing the journey from failure to success as this. But this is what happens even in your scientific career. And I want to tell you, some of you who go about admiring this, admiring that, yes, don't just admire. If you have opportunity, talk to them. Ask them, how did you come to this place? Is there something I can learn? And I tell you, it takes somebody who is determined to make it, to follow the path of great minds, because their path is full of failures. All right. Success in 1,000 fails. This is Thomas Edison. And you know, it's associated with the light bulb and other inventions here and there. He said, after he has had 1,000 fails trying to produce the light bulb, and they asked him, what do you think about all the failures you have had? He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. All right? Meaning that each time he did not get it right, he learned a way of not doing it that way. That is what failure brings. The failure of uncertainty, the failure of the darkness of the world we are, the failure of the ignorance that presents. And so that thing that is happening to you, and you go and you say, why does it not happen to other people? Why? I did what they did. I did what they did. And you cry. And you give up. And you try to do this, try to do that. But I tell you, you need an open mind to understand it. For there are great stories that have been written that have had much more darker experience than what you are going through. All right. The story of the digital camera is a failure lab. I don't know how many of you have come about Stephen Sanson. This is his story. Look down here. In 2009, he was awarded the highest medal in United States for excellent strides in science, in IT, in technology, in engineering, given by Obama. He was given the National Medal of Technology and Innovation. In 2011, it followed that he was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame, United States. In 2012, he was given the Progress Medal from the Royal Photographic Society. In 2018, he was elected Fellow of the National Academy of Inventors. But I tell you something, this did not come by. This is how many years? From 1973, 72, 73, 75 until here. You can count it and write it on the chart. How many years that took? Look at his camera in 1975. You see the cassette there? This camera was weighing 3.6 kilograms and it could only produce 0.01 megapixel. The phone you have on your hand today, some are 13 pixels, some are 12, some are 10. But look at the amount of weight this has here, and it could only produce this. Today, what happens? Everybody has a phone. Everybody, including my poor mother in the village there. She can use her phone and take picture. How did this come by? A man did not give up. He had failures, technical failures, communication failures, organizational failures. He had all kinds of failures trying to do things. Yeah, thank you very much. The person who said, almost 40 years, he fought, he fought, he fought, he fought, he fought, he fought, he failed, he dropped it, he went on holiday, he came back, and he told himself, I will get it right. In fact, at that time when he was produced, it was black and white. You would think every tribe in this world was black. But curiosity did not leave him to give up. Criticisms that came. Some people left him and said, I don't know what you're doing. But he persisted. He persisted. He persisted. And when the fruit came, his vision came about. And then this is a similar story when we talk about Steve Jobs, the owner of so-called Apple. He predicted that he get a time where this supercomputer will be on the palms of people in the world. And that has come through. All right. So failure has a way to turn the innovation acumen in you into productivity that can shake the world. And so he moved from this big gadget. All right. In fact, when he's taking the picture, he needs to be very careful, because if he's looking too intently and people shake him, he may fall with the camera. And when this falls, great will be the fall. And then from there, they moved, reducing the size. And today, the size. In fact, there are some pens today that have cameras because somebody persisted to get it right. Somebody persisted not to fail because he was failing. All right. That story is similar as scientists. Failure is part of the research process and is covered in every aspect of the research process in the observation you make. Your observation of the world may fail, may be wrong. And then you go with that wrong perception, that wrong observation, you generate a research topic. You generate a hypothesis based on the wrong perception. You test it and you get an answer. And that answer is disputed by many that this is not true. What does that lead you? Go back and try to recalibrate your process. Go back and try to see, where did I get it wrong? The point here is that failure that comes as a result of the uncertainties that surround us is part of the process. And so at every stage of the research process, failure is bound to happen. The question is, how do you deal with failure? First, we have to realize that it's a natural process. When you realize that it's a natural process, it's actually part of the ingredient that should be integral to what you're doing. If we have that mindset and open it up, then you see that many will cry less. Many of us will cry less. Many of us will be greater than we are today. The problem, as I started, is that many times it's not that we don't know, it's that we have not internalized it. We're afraid to fail. We're afraid to fail. This is a funding body from Sweden here, where I am. Now, just looking through their funding mechanisms, funding results, and it's interesting to see what happens. Here, just take a look on the last column here. It's talking about success rate. Women, men, and in total. And this is really including top and early career researchers. These are top career researchers who apply to research project. Early career researchers, the same. It tells you, out of 100 people that apply, only 14 of them get the grant. And for you as a scientist, this is your story. This is your story. Of course, I'm not saying here, don't be shabby in your application. In ASFI, those who have attended our grant application, some of them have gone to win top global grants because they were able to know how to do the things they were not doing the right way. We just to tell you that even when you know how to do the right things in the right way, the success rate, even in this all-important scientific activity, is so low. The point I'm making here is, in this aspect, majority of people do what? They fail. I was telling somebody last year, I'm not sure how many times I taught a grant writing course, but all the grant applications I made last year, I didn't get. All right? Failure, because that is our story. But you keep on striving. You keep on striving. Many journals, leading journals in the world, have acceptance rates as less than 20%. In fact, some of them have up to 8%, 9% acceptance rate. So if you want to publish in those journals, your story is more of failure than success. All right, this is our reality. And you need to get that reality into your system. It needs to be, you wake up in the morning, you are carrying it in your bag. Then you will use not so many tissues to clean tears. All right. Even in tenure application, getting tenure in leading universities, mostly is rejection that you get. Failure is a skill. Make sure you get good at it. Get good at it. That is part of what it means to be a scientist. All right, let me quickly finish up. Failure is integral to research. It is how theories are refined. It is how discoveries are made. And it is how innovations are developed. You, I, all of us must engage with the opportunities that failure provides. Understand why our project failed. Understand why our papers are rejected. Understand why our grant failed. Understand why we don't get it right. Our hypothesis even fail. We must engage with the opportunities that failure provides. For this opportunity, if we engage in this, it provides us an opportunity for further insights. Failure should be taught to growing scientists as part of the research curve. Growing scientists need to understand that this ingredient is part of the experience you should learn to generate as a scientist. Every failure is a step to success, with the caveat that you have to understand it. All right? Okay. I think I've covered all I need to tell you. My math teacher used to tell me, I will give you only 30% of what you need to know, right? 70% is based on self-discovery. There are many papers out there talking about failure with specific examples of how people have suffered in different ways. Search out for them and encourage yourself. The next tips and tricks will be on the p-value. I know many of you have used it. Many of you are using it. What is it? Why is there so much discussion about it nowadays in scientific circles? What is wrong with it? How do I use it well? How can I use it wrongly? So we'll be talking about the p-value mess. Its use and misuse in science, 28th of October, 2022. Please don't miss it. All right. Okay. I think our time is up. Unless you have something to say, any quick question or any quick comment, just raise your hand. I will recognize you before we call it a weekend. I have Techno Pouvoy. I'm not sure who that is. Please unmute yourself and speak.
Good afternoon, sir. Sorry, I'm sorry that I didn't rename my device, Manuel.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So for me, just a question and also a concern. The question is, for we within this group, so how do we, because one thing that is common is that sometimes when we experience failure, we don't document our experiences. And that's something that is very common among the Blacks. So how do we document this? What's the best way to ensure that we're able to document our failure and share with others so they can also learn? If possible, within the community, within our community, just this present community that I'm referring to. For those who have done some of this and have experience and have failed in one way or the other, could actually document and share with us so we can learn from that. And then the other part, which I also want to get a better understanding, is in terms of ethics. You know, sometimes we do things with the assumption that this is what we expect to get from it. And we try to, and at the end, we get some, what's the implications aspire to get to that level in terms of the highest level in scientific, in the scientific community? Thank you, and over.
All right. The first one is that documentation is good. Documentation is good, and there are lots of documentations, both in books and journal papers. So yeah, even for you, as you are going through your scientific trajectory, get a journal if you're a journal person, but otherwise, make sure that you regurgitate your experience in a positive way to inspire other people. All right? Even when there is no written documentation, it is good to look for a mentor. Look for a mentor, somebody who can mentor you. Then you can interact specifically with experiences you come up with. And it's not that particular person is an embodiment of all experiences, but it's good to have somebody you can share. And this mentor, I mean, is not your supervisor. You know, supervisor is different from a mentor, okay? And of course, there are some supervisors that combine those skills. Not every supervisor has the skill of a mentor, all right? A mentor is like a guide. Supervisor is supervising your thesis. A mentor will take you to break the barriers to career development and growth. All right, so that is important, and I think you need to embrace what you are doing. There should be a passion in what you are doing. It is only through having such passion that you can learn positively. If you're the type that you're frustrated, well, why is it me? Every time it's me. It doesn't happen to other people. You know, you begin to take your experiences from the negative part. And so that aspect that helps you to become resistant to negativity, you don't develop it, because in essence, you're actually broadcasting your negativity. It's overshadowing you. All right. So passion will help you in that, to support you, so that even when the road is tough, you find a place to have a succor, and then you come out and you deal with it and you move on. All right. Finally, I have Olubumi Abidemi. Please, quickly.
Thank you, Prof, for the good presentation. My question is this. In a situation whereby a grant proposal application or paper is rejected without comments, how do you handle such a situation? Without comments, rejection of a grant proposal or paper without any comment, how do you handle it?
Yeah. Olubimi, do you like crying?
No.
Oh, okay. You're a strong woman. Then when you have paper without comment, then there's nothing to cry about that. There are issues there. One is that the journal may not be the journal is submitted may not be the best place to submit it. It may not be the exact content they publish. And so the journal returns it back to you, and meaning that they didn't send it to external reviewers. If you get it like that without comment, then look for the next journal and submit. Okay, send it to another journal. You don't need to waste time in that. And actually, many times when your paper does not fit a journal's profile, the decisions are quick. They have editorial decisions and they send it back to you. Then find another journal and send it to another journal immediately without wasting your energy. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. And I wish you a wonderful weekend.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prof.
Prof. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Have a nice
Thank you.
weekend.
Bye,
Bye.
you too.
Bye.
Enjoy
Bye-bye.
your
Thank you,
weekend.
sir.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye.
You sure, Prof, you are the best.
Oh, yeah.
Bye bye.